Coming up on the Paper Talk today, we're talking about the morning after the night before. There's still some reaction to the game from yesterday, one of the best games I've ever seen. Obviously, we'll be getting into all that. Also, there's a couple of transfer stories we need to get into and some injury updates. Let's check it out. Jay here from Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk, and I've just about still got a voice from the morning after, the afternoon before Manchester United through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup after what can only be described as an epic game against Liverpool here. 4-3 after extra time. Amad Diallo, who's got a great name if you're a Mancunian, who's got a great name if you're not, to be honest with you, with a late winner for the Reds at the end of extra time, and he gets himself a second yellow and a red card. It just had everything, that game yesterday. I'm still on a bit of a high, a natural high from it all. Get involved in the chat and the comments, and make sure as well, if you're not doing already, you are subscribing to the channel. I want to talk a little bit about the post-match reaction, what's going on there following yesterday's win. Also, a couple of other stories doing the rounds. Manchester United potentially linked with a player, what's going on in injuries, all that good stuff. And a hero, a legend, could be returning to the club. We'll get into all that, so make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. Right, first of all, the win, fantastic. A lot of people talking about Amad Diallo's second yellow. I've even seen ex-Liverpool players saying it was harsh. He got that second yellow card. I mean, people are going to say the rules are the rules. He took his shirt off. He was already on a yellow. He got two sort of unfortunate yellows. I think one was for standing over the ball, not letting them take a free kick. And he was right. They were taking it from somewhere he shouldn't have been took for. They should have been a bit further back. That was the point he made to the referee, who didn't want to know and booked him. And then his second yellow, takes his top off, shows it to the crowd. He's still got something on underneath. But we've seen it before. I remember a few years ago when I think the Leicester owners passed away and one of the Leicester players took his top off with a tribute to the Leicester owner as a goal celebration, and he got a yellow card. It just happens, and I don't agree with it. I think it is a bit silly, but it is a rule. Unfortunately, now Amad Diallo got his red card, so I think that's, what is it, a one-match ban for him. But what a day, what a moment for him. And I just want to talk a little bit about some of the fringe players as well, because a lot of the players who played a part yesterday have had their critics. They've had criticism, and I've criticised some of them. I've criticised Andy at times. I don't think he's been good enough. I'm not going to pretend I haven't, sorry. He got his goal, played his part. There's actually some funny footage. I think the Daily Mail have picked up on this. Anthony having a bit of a wobbly one about the fact that Erik ten Hag asked him to play at left-back for part of that extra time. You can see him sort of making the mind-blown gesture, like, what am I doing? And Marcus Rashford basically just almost get hold of him and say, let me get on with it, because I think he was a little bit miffed that he was being put in a defensive position. But look, yesterday was absolutely crazy for players in different positions. At one point, we had Harry Maguire as a sort of a striker. We had Victor Lindelof as a marauding winger. We had Bruno Fernandes channeling his inner Yap Stam by becoming a centre-back maestro. It was all happening. But the main thing is we got over the line and we got a result. Just on that as well, Bruno Fernandes posted on Marcus Rashford's Instagram post saying, told you. And Marcus Rashford replied something like, you did, brother. And I think that's a reference to when Marcus Rashford missed that chance late on, at the end of normal time. I think it's like the 94th minute. He fell on the floor. He was gutted. You could see he's frustrated. Bruno Fernandes came over, helped him up, was having a word with him. And you could see him. I was right behind the goal. I could see it all happening. Just saying to him, don't worry about it, man. Come on. You can still keep going. You can get us back in this game. Don't be too disheartened. And he was right. Marcus Rashford, of course, got his goal. Another goal against Liverpool. I think that's 7 he's got against Liverpool. He loves scoring against the Scousers, doesn't he? He kept going. So, yeah, great to see that. A few people have made a bit of a thing about Jadon Sancho posting on Marcus Rashford's Instagram post as well. I mean, we know these two are mates. We keep doing this thing. And I've not got any time for this nonsense anymore, to be honest with you. I just want to focus on the positives this morning. Let's not start getting into all that drama. Bruno Fernandes, a lot of other players posting on Marcus Rashford's thing. Great to see that team spirit. Great to see the lads fighting for each other. And hopefully that can continue in the semi-final against Coventry City, because that is a winnable game. But we can't already think, well, we've got there. We're in the final. We've had these moments before, haven't we? We've had semi-finals and quarter-finals where we've looked at it and gone, we got this. This is an easy one. It's definitely the easier tie. 100%. It's a lot easier than Chelsea or Manchester City, of course, but we're not there yet. We're not in that final yet, although we are going to Wembley for the FA Cup semi-final, and we'll be going down there. So make sure, as you always say, you are hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of that. Now, in terms of transfers, there's a story during the rounds, I think this is in the Express, I think it is, about there's a player called Donyell Malen. I'm sure you're all aware of him. Plays for Borussia Dortmund. He's a striker. I think his record in the Bundesliga this season is pretty impressive. He's had 23 games, 11 goals, and I think it's 1 assist as well. Now, he has been linked with Liverpool. There's a lot of transfer rumours doing the rounds that he could be going to Liverpool in about a £52 million deal. However, the latest reports indicate that Dortmund may want to offer him to Manchester United as some sort of makeshift in the deal to get Jadon Sancho to Dortmund on a permanent deal or for another season. It's a bit vague as to what exactly Dortmund's plans are here. Some reporters saying that they want Jadon Sancho on a loan. Some saying they want to make it a permanent deal. Some saying that they want to offer this striker Malen as an option, as a sort of, like a swap deal. We'll have to wait and see what happens with him. Obviously, he's highly rated. He's got a decent return. He's Dutch. We love a Dutch player here at Manchester United, don't we? Let's have it right. I think he was at PSV. So there could be some sort of fire to that smoke, but we'll have to wait and see because there's nothing concrete yet. I think we've just seen like 1 or 2 reports, and it's a lot of ifs and buts and maybes if Dortmund go down this route, if Manchester United even want him, if Liverpool don't get him, all that sort of jazz. As always, we'll keep you posted. Now, there was some great news this morning that I saw. I think I saw this on Sky. This is arguably the best news I've ever heard in my life. And this is potentially that Eric Cantona could return to Manchester United. Now, he was giving an interview to the big issue. I think it's been quoted by Sky. And he was talking about, he was asked, would you ever come back to United as be a manager? And he sort of said he wouldn't be a manager. He was sort of talking about Jim Ratcliffe and how, he was impressed with what he said. And Jim Ratcliffe had sort of said, praised Eric Cantona and said he had a bit of glamour, added glamour to the club. You look at the club, look at the players we've had, the likes of George Best, the likes of Eric Cantona. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said. So Eric Cantona was talking about that. And then he said, not as a manager, but in another role, who knows? He sort of indicated that he would be open to the idea of returning to the club in some sort of capacity. If Eric Cantona comes here as part of the Ineos regime, then I am officially Ratcliffe in forever, because that would be biblical. Eric Cantona is the Don of all Dons. Absolute legend. So if you can get him back at the club, doing anything, I don't care what it is, that would be amazing, and I'd be made up even more than I'm already made up after yesterday's epic 4-3 win. Make sure you are getting involved in the chat and the comments. Make sure as well, if you're not doing already, you are hitting like, share and subscribing to the channel. Just one final one as well on injuries at Manchester United. We know we've got a lot of injury problems. We've had issues all season with injuries. Apparently, and you wouldn't have thought this, Alejandro Garnacho was actually carrying a bit of an injury. He barely trained. I think his brother was posting stuff on social media saying that he had a bit of a hamstring injury and he'd barely trained. I think he'd trained for like 2 days. The kid ran his heart out for 120 minutes yesterday. Hopefully he's okay. We need him fighting fit. Now he's got a bit of a breather. We've got the Brentford game on the 30th. We don't know. We might have Lisandro Martinez back for that one. He's going away with Argentina, isn't he? That was a bit of a furore there. Right, what's he doing going away? Going to continue his rehab there. There was talk of him maybe featuring in their game against Costa Rica, which to me sounds like a bit of a stretch. But if we can get him back for the Brentford game, or even maybe we're just looking towards the semi-final against Coventry, which is a lot further down the line, or maybe the City game might be a bit more realistic. Not City game, sorry, the Liverpool game. We've got them again, haven't we, in the league? We'll have to wait and see, but we need Lisandro Martinez back. He's so vital. We've obviously got that injury, we heard about yesterday, to Casemiro. Johnny Evans is suffering with a knock. Luke Shaw, we still no news on when he's going to be back. The Evening News have done like a list. Some of them you've given a bit of sort of return date. Others, we just don't know. And I think in the case of Luke Shaw, it's pretty unspecified as to when we can expect him to return. Also, as well, Anthony Martial, the forgotten man. He's still on the injury list. Can he play any part at the end of the season? Everyone's probably going, no, don't be silly, Jay. But you never know. And I just want to talk about this before I wrap up. Fringe players yesterday stepped up. And a lot of these players, we would have thought, right, well, they're done at Manchester United. They're not going to get a chance. They're probably not good enough. But you saw it with Anthony. Steps up, got a vital goal, put in a good performance. You saw it with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. A lot of people thought Aaron Wan-Bissaka was going to be sold. I thought he was magnificent at left-back yesterday. He really was. And I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I've said this a few times, should be kept at the club. I don't understand the point in selling him. Because the idea is, right, you're going to buy a right-back, you're going to bring in a right-back. We've been linked with 1 or 2, something like Jeremy Frimpong or whatever. Is that right-back going to be second fiddle to Diogo Dalot? Probably not. Does Eric Ten Hag prefer Diogo Dalot as his right-back? Does he rate him? I think he does. So what other right-back are you going to get that's going to come in, be back up, defensively is amazing. He's a lot different to the right-back you've already got as well. So offers you something different. And, as he proved yesterday, can play at left back. I don't think there's many that can do that. So don't get that idea. Victor Lindelof, I thought he got better as the game went on. He's another one that a lot of people thought, oh, he's no good, get rid of him. But I thought he grew into the game. He had a few wobbly moments in the first half, especially. and in the part of the second half, but I thought he got much better as the game wore on and played his part. Harry Maguire at times was magnificent yesterday. He's one everyone's looked at and goes, he needs to shift. Scott McTominay, obviously, we've spoken about him quite a lot. I think he's got 9 goals now this season. Was linked with a move to Newcastle in the summer. A lot of people would have said, yeah, good to see the back of him. No disrespect, Scott, but you're not good enough. He keeps popping up with those goals and played a very big part in a good performance yesterday. I think he played the full 120 minutes as well. And finally, Amad Diallo. Everyone was assuming that Amad Diallo was done at Manchester United. The manager doesn't rate him. He's not going to end up staying. He's going to go out on loan again. All this other jazz. I think he could have got on loan in January, but he didn't. Pops up with a late winner in one of the best games I've ever witnessed here at Old Trafford. I mean, you've got to look at some of these fringe players. I'm not getting carried away, saying they're all mint and they all need to start, but some of them could still have a future at Manchester United Football Club, and I think we need to remember that, and I think yesterday has shown that as well. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. I've been Jay Motty. This has been The Paper Talk. We'll be back later on with the Paddock podcast, and also go and check out some of the post-match reaction if you've not done already. Thanks for watching.